God gave, we give. Our generosity isn't an option, it's obedience. We are called to open our hands to pour out what God has entrusted to us, not for comfort, but for kingdom impact. This is the moment to live differently, to shift from self to sacrifice, from getting to giving, from consuming to contributing. Because when the church is generous, the gospel moves forward and lives are changed. It starts now. It starts with us. Be generous.
All right. Well, good morning. How's everybody today? All right. Some of you are all right. School's back. I also want to say good morning to everybody online. And what people here in Ontario don't know, we are actually live with people in Ashland today. Can we give a round of applause for our Ontario? Just let them know that you're here. We're super excited about this because of what's going to happen. And don't worry, Ashland, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hand it over to Jesse in here just a few minutes. So be ready for Jesse because he's going to be rocking the message as long. But I'm going to start off today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nate. I'm the lead pastor here at Avenue. And just so excited that you're here, excited everybody else is here, and excited for what this series is all about. Be generous, to me, is... It's a fun time of the year. It's an exciting time of the year for so many of us. In fact, today or this season of Be Generous is the first time that we're doing Be Generous in 2 locations. So to see what God is going to do, I'm super excited about. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm also really nervous about. And for more reasons than one, but I believe that God does incredible things. He always does. But I want you to know, what is the foundation for Be Generous? And if you're new with us, you have no clue what Be Generous is, just hold on, we're going to get to it, okay? Here's the foundation that I want to make sure that you're all aware of. Go to the next slide. That we can do it, we must do it, and we ought to do it. So over the next 5 Sundays that we're together on a Sunday morning, this is the foundation. We can do it, we must do it, we ought to do it. And that's the expectations that so many have. So I believe that our communities, Ontario, Ashland, and Shelby, Richland County, Ashland County, I believe that it is important that there are churches like ours in our county so that we can help people say yes to Jesus. That's what Be Generous was all about, that we want to say yes to Jesus. We don't want to hope there are churches in our communities. We want to be the church that's in our communities, making a difference in the lives of people. So 6 years ago, on November 3rd, 2019, we started Be Generous. And we didn't know what it was going to become, but in that moment, for us, Be Generous is going to be this opportunity to do 2 things well. Number 1 was we were going to ask people to give. And number 2, we were going to take that money and we were going to do something with it. So it wasn't just going to be a giving campaign because, again, we can do all kinds of giving campaigns and things like that. This was going to be different than anything we've ever done. This is going to be different than most Christians have ever done because not a whole lot of churches do this. And so we wanted to be a difference, like I said. So we were going to take the money, whatever we raised, we're going to turn it back. So in 2019, we decided to say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise money to do a meal packing event. And that's how Be Generous began. And so with 153 people that year in 2019, you guys raised $11,011.12. Now that's important because, again, this was brand new. And again, it all started with a meal packing event because we wanted people to take the money and then do something with their hands to make a difference in the lives of people. That's how it's begun. 6 years later, you guys have raised, I already think it's a little bit north because I was already told I'm a little wrong, so I'll get that number to you, but I'll tell you what this number is. $428,450.65. That's what you've raised in 6 years, and every penny has been given away. Isn't that cool? Now, the thing about this is that in 2024, this was new last year, is that also added to our Be Generous campaign was church multiplication. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Why is that? Because Be Generous, again, is not designed just to be about service. Please hear me say that. Be Generous was designed to be generous to reach people with the gospel. Are you all with me? That's Be Generous. Please don't miss the point of Be Generous. It's everything that we're doing is to try to make a difference in the lives of people, regardless if they respond, and sometimes even without saying it's Avenue Church. It's strictly just saying, as followers of Jesus Christ, we believe in making a difference in the lives of people so that they can come to know the hope, the saving power of Jesus the Christ. That's the example of what Be Generous is. Now, another thing that we've started to do, and especially this year in 2025, is our One campaign. Our One campaign, we began on our New Year's Eve message that we were all online. We were talking about what does that look like. Now, the whole point of what what the One campaign was supposed to do is something we haven't been able to do in the last 7 years. The last 7 years of Avenue, we've had at times a campaign here or there, something small, because the building really needed it. This is an aging building, and so there were some things we had to fix or do, or even a little updates here and there. But we've never actually been intentional with the campaign to help use our building to do two things: to improve our next gen ministry, and at the same time to be able to use this building for our community. That's what the One campaign was designed to do. That's what we're still doing with this. And so what you guys have done over the last what has this been, 8 months? Over the last 8 months so far in the One campaign, you've raised $90,000 for the One campaign. What has that done so far? So one of the things it's done is it's gotten new chairs, both here and both in our Ashland campus. We were able to update our double room that was about 60 or 70 years old that our children were using, and mice were coming in and eating all kinds of fun things and leaving some of their surprises for us because they're loving and caring that way. And so finally, we were able to fix that and update that. And now it's used for our preteen part of the ministry of Avenue Kids, and our student ministries are going to also be using it and many people in their church will be using this. We were to update our storage room, which just got completed, and we're in the process of working on that now. So because we need more space, I don't know if you noticed, our church is growing, but the building is shrinking. And so we're like, that's what the One campaign was designed to do. So to find more space in our church to use things, to update our carpet, specifically in our kids ministry area. If you have kids and you've been up there and you see that, there's paint everywhere. You could pull a piece of the carpet off, like it's been that way for a long time. We're finally able to up that. And to also currently, this is everything that we have been able to raise so far, to update the new lobby that's in our downstairs space for our counseling, because Tina Yarger she's a professional counselor. She's on staff with us. And so she's helping people not only in the community, but in this church and at Ashland as well. So these are some of the things that we've already begun to do because of people's generosity on a consistent basis. Now, okay, the reason you don't need to feel weird about me talking about money. Does anybody feel weird yet? Because you're like, Nate, you're going somewhere with this today, and I brought my friend. I'm so glad you did. Because this is what I want us to understand. This is why we don't need to be when we talk about money, we don't need to feel weird or uncomfortable. Is this right here? Go to this next. Those who have embraced Jesus' teaching on money and possessions will tell you they're never going back to a life before they took him seriously on generosity. It's a true story. Do you know why? Because when you actually understand what Jesus talks about money, it changes your life for the better. Now, the tension is it's hard because the world tells you one thing, and that's the tension. But what Jesus tells you is about freedom and liberation. And when you begin to make a difference in the lives of people, it can do incredible things. So what I'm going to do, and what Jesse today is going to do in Ashland, is that we want to give you one simple idea in Scripture that applies one simple truth. King David talked about it. King Jesus talked about it. And it's one thing that David said in his prayer to God that I think will absolutely transform our move into this Be Generous series. Here's what he prayed in First Chronicles, and I think this is absolutely beautiful. He said this: "Everything in the heavens and on earth is yours, O Lord." That was part of his prayer. And this is the foundation with where we're going to move today. Even if you're not a Christian today, or this is your first time, I want you to actually understand why Christians are to give, and more specifically, what we're to do with that. So I don't even want you to feel uncomfortable. Listen, if you need to feel even more comfortable, if you're online, you're like, I don't know, I'm thinking about turning this off. Listen, I'm not going to ask for your money today. You okay with that? Is everybody good? We're not going to ask for your money today. I want to encourage you, though, and I want to help you. And Ashland, I want to help you to do the same thing as well. Here's what he's saying. In other words, here's what we got to go to, is we're managers or stewards of all things on earth. This is what we got to understand. We're managers of all things on earth. So today in Ontario, you get me today. And Ashland, you get Jesse. Jesse, you're up, my brother.
All right, that was pretty cool. Wait, so Avenue's never done this, half video thing before, so that was pretty neat to get to be the first one to guinea pig that. So yeah, we're kind of talking about money today. Probably the first time Ashland has talked about money, so Bill chose to skip today, of course. No, I'm just kidding. He's off at another church down south giving his story and testimony and stuff. So he's doing good things, just not talking about money. So to continue what Nate was talking about, during the prayer that King David said here in 1 Chronicles 29, he was probably in his 50s roughly, and he had ended border disputes around Israel at this point. So he thought it would be a good time to build a temple for God to be where they are at. Because up until this point, he has always lived in a tent or a tabernacle. So he was going to build a temple. But the prophet Nathan came to him and said, God does not want you to build a temple. This is said in 2 Samuel 7. He said, God doesn't want you to build a temple because he hasn't needed one since the time of Moses. So what Nathan tells David here is that he wants his son to build the temple. His son was Solomon. And David accepted this, so he began gathering materials for this temple to be built. He accepted that he won't be the one to build it, but his son is going to build it. So he began gathering and giving a lot of his own stuff. And he started connecting with others to help in the process. In verses 2 through 5 of 1 Chronicles 29, we see David give not just the things that he vowed and set aside for giving to the temple, but he gave a lot of his own personal stuff. His own personal wealth. He devoted it to the temple. In verse 3, he says, in his devotion to building the temple, he's now going to give his personal treasures of gold and silver. So I think when I read that, it's an excellent look into what true leadership looks like. So he didn't just go to the people and say, hey, how much can you give? We want to do this thing. I'm just going to lead the charge. I'm going to kind of man it up, but I want to know how much you guys are able to give me. He didn't do that. He started, and the first thing he did was, I'm giving this stuff, my personal stuff I've set aside for the temple. But he went so above and beyond, giving a lot of his own personal treasures, and it set an example for the people around him. He basically showed that he doesn't just talk the talk, but he walks the walk, right? So he sets the stage for sacrificial giving. He believed, proving that he believed that all of it was God's anyway, right? What Nate just said. Everything is God's. We're just giving it back to him. So military leaders, city council of Jerusalem, families, people of influence, government officials, they all saw what David was doing, and they wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to step up and give just like he was giving to make this thing happen. And David said to all of them, I want to build a temple. I want to build our God a temple, and my son is going to do it. Are you with me? After he gave and pledged to give all this stuff, he then went and asked the people, are you with me? 1 Chronicles 29:6 says, and the family leaders, the leaders of the tribes of Israel, and generals and captains of the army, and the kings and administrative officials all gave willingly. And because everyone in Israel saw what was happening, everyone wanted to get involved. It did not matter how rich or poor they were. They just all wanted to be involved. And if the giving comes from the heart, God is pleased, and he does not care how much it is or how little it is. If you see the person next to you give $200, but you only have a couple dollars left to make it the whole rest of the week, and you still give, that is just as pleasing to God as that $200 the person next to you gave. It does not matter. It is the heart. What are you giving from the heart? That's why, we all know the 10% rule, right? We're giving 10% of our income kind of thing. That isn't really, we don't really need to follow the 10% rule anymore, but it's more from the heart. Are we giving from the heart? If we make $100,000 a year and we're giving $5 a week, is that really giving from the heart? If we make $20 a week and we're giving $5 a week, that's a different story, right? 1 Chronicles 29:9 says, the people rejoiced over the offerings, for they had given freely and wholeheartedly to the Lord, and King David was filled with joy. And because David was so excited by the generosity of the people and the love for God, he prays a prayer. And it shows and explains when we truly follow Jesus, who we how do I want to say it? When we truly follow him, it shows who has our heart and who has everything in our lives, our wealth, our income. It shows what our priorities are, right? It shows our potential, not just personally, but collectively as it relates to furthering God's kingdom, what we can do as a whole. 1 Chronicles 29, 10 through 17 says, O Lord, the God of our ancestor Israel, may you be praised forever and ever. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, and the majesty. Everything in heaven and on earth is yours, O Lord, and this is your kingdom. We adore you as the one who is over all things. Wealth and honor come from you alone, for you rule over everything. Power and might are in your hand, and at your discretion people are made great and given strength. What David is praying here is absolutely correct. Everything is already his. It's already God's. And I understand you have worked hard all your life for the things you have and for the money you have accumulated. But remember those opportunities that you have been given to work, to use your hands, to use your mind, to earn that money, to earn that income. That is a gift from God. He has given you that gift to earn that. David understood what so many people didn't in that time, and I think a lot of people misunderstand today. That we didn't pick when and where we are born, to whom we would be born, the type of environment that we would be born into, and the order of things that we get to do. There are so many variables that play into what we have, right? What we've worked for and how we got it. David understood this, and he still praised God, knowing everything is his, including David being king of Israel. It's only by God's grace and mercy we're given anything. Verse 13 says, O our God, we thank you and we praise your glorious name. But who am I and who are my people that we could give anything to you? Everything we have has come from you, and we give only what you first gave us. In other words, we're giving back what we've already been given, right? But so many people ask, why would we do that? Why would we give our belongings, our money, our income? Verse 15, we are only here for a moment, visitors and strangers in the land as our ancestors were before us. Our days on earth are like a passing shadow, gone so soon without a trace. It's because we are literally only here a moment. We can hoard and hoard and hoard the money. We can hoard the possessions, the cars, the houses. And then when we're gone, it doesn't matter anymore. So why wouldn't God's kingdom get our best? Verse 16, O Lord our God, even this material we have gathered to build a temple to honor your holy name comes from you. It all belongs to you. Let me make this simple to understand this prayer. Basically what he is saying is we're not giving you anything, we're giving it back. That has to go from your head to your heart. You can't give with your head, right? Because you're not going to want to give anything. Because natural beings say, hey, this is my stuff. We're like squirrels with nuts. These are my nuts. No, stay away from them. I collected these for all summer and all fall. Get away from them. We have to understand anything we give has been given to us through God. Our talents were given to us so we could use them to make money, The opportunities we've been given was a direct result of God setting them up for us so we could use those opportunities to make money and to earn things and to gain our possessions. And now I get it. It's hard. It's hard giving up our money. It's hard talking about money. That's why Bill's not here. Let's just be honest. But it's hard. It's hard giving up our stuff because we all work so hard for it. I completely get it. When I've only been a Christian for 7 years. When I first became a Christian, that was the hardest thing for me, was giving up my money because I worked so hard for it. When I first became a Christian, I was on an off shift working. My wife and I weren't seeing each other a lot, and I'm like, man, I'm working so hard to build a life for my wife and myself and our kids, and the church wants my money. But it took a couple years for me to evaluate where's my heart truly at, because the more God pulled me in and the more closer I got to him, the more I realized, what do I need all this money for? Which I didn't have that much to begin with, but if I had a lot of money, what do I need all this money for? Verse 17, I know, my God, that you examine our hearts and rejoice when you find integrity there. You know I have done all this with good motives, and I have watched your people offer their gifts willingly and joyously. So, personal question, is that you? Are you giving gifts willingly and joyously? The creator of all things has given us his very best. He has given us literally his son on the cross for our sins. Are we giving him back willingly and joyously? We can't be like owners who donate to the church, okay? We're not business owners donating $100 to the local charity because we got to get rid of some money. We can't look at it like that. If this has been or is your mindset, I want to challenge you to begin thinking differently as one who is a follower of Jesus. If you think owner, donating what you can to the church when you can, we will never have kingdom impact. We will never see true change. We have to see ourselves the way Jesus has taught us to be. The way King David saw his people, joyously giving our possessions, our money, our times, our talents. We have to be stewards of what God has already given us. I want to give you 3 promises when you begin to think like a biblical manager of God's stuff and not an owner of your stuff, right? The first is you'll view everything you own as a potential tool to further the agenda of your king. What does that look like? Maybe it's your home, right? Maybe you're opening up your home so people can come in and they can sit at your dinner table and you can talk to them and you can share Jesus with them. Maybe you lead, or maybe you're a part of a small group and you open up your home to your A group to come in and have a meal with you and to have fellowship and a Bible study with you. Maybe you use it for kids ministry. There's people in our church that open their homes to kids ministry so that Avenue Youth can come in and enjoy their pool and have cookouts at their houses and stuff like that. Are you using your home as a gift and allowing the kingdom to be better for it? What about your car? Can you use your car to drive people around, maybe people to appointments? Can you pick people up and bring them to church? Or is your car or your truck your prized possession and you don't want anybody driving it, you don't want to put anybody in the passenger seat because then you have to dust the passenger seat? I don't do that, I promise. I do like my truck though. But I also use it. So, funny story, when my wife actually pays for my truck, that's something she does because she loves me. And I like gifts. So we bought the truck like a year ago, and we had it maybe a week. And Abe, the youth pastor at Avenue, texted me and he's like, "Hey, my wife and I just got a couch, but it's in I don't know, it was like an hour and a half away." And it was on a Monday night, and our small group is on Monday nights. So he's like, "Are you free to drive me up there with a trailer and we can load it up?" And I'm like, "I'm not, but you can have my truck. Just go get the trailer and go get it." He's like, "Well, I can't take your truck. You just bought it." I'm like, "Use it. It's a truck. That's what it's for. I don't care. Just don't wreck it, please." But that's what it's for. I mean, we didn't buy this truck because we want a truck. We bought it so we can haul people to church and we can do things and we can help people. And when people need to move, I can help people move. And that's the point of it. Maybe it's your materials. Maybe your lawnmower, your push mower, your weed eater, your tools. Are you loaning those things out to people? And in the process, maybe it gives you that opportunity to share Jesus with someone. Maybe your neighbor who doesn't go to church, hates church, has a problem with it. Maybe they got burned by the church, but they come over, hey, my lawnmower broke down, can I borrow yours? Absolutely. You let them borrow your lawnmower, and then you tell them about Jesus. That's their payment. They get to hear about it. Number 2 is you'll give first and adjust your lifestyle accordingly. Give, save, live off the rest. If we could live like that, I wish all Christians could live that way. So I know for my wife and I, first thing we do when we get paid is we give to the church. However much our tithe is, the first thing that gets pulled out of our account is our tithe. And then we have a certain amount that we put back in savings, and then the rest we live on. It's a super simple method. It's not hard to follow. Some people, a lot of people that aren't in the church will tell you that doesn't make sense. Why would you give money away before you know if you have enough money to live on? It's what we do. We trust God that He's going to provide, and we do it every single week. And I can tell you, since we've been giving every single time we get paid, we've never gone without anything. We were worse off before we were giving. And now we're giving money away, and it's like, we have money left over. Where'd this money come from? Oh. You will adopt a first and best mindset rather than a last and leftover mindset. So most Americans live in that ladder, right? The last and leftovers. Well, we put our money in our savings account. We bought all of our groceries. We ate out 7 times this week. We did this. We bought new shoes. We replenished our wardrobe. We bought some decorations for the house. I got $17 left. There you go, church. There's your leftovers. Most Americans do that. Followers of Jesus should not do that. You'll find it easier, this is number 3, you'll find it easier to surrender your entire life to the King. You'll quit white-knuckling your stuff. You'll start to care about it so much less when you live this way. All your belongings, all your money, you'll quit hanging on to it like it's a prized possession, like you just can't let it go, right? You'll begin to see stuff for what it is. It's just stuff. It's just things. It's not adding significant value to my life. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't know I didn't have it, right? Matthew 6:19-21 says, "Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven where moths and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal." Wherever your treasure is, there your desires will be also. So where is your heart? What do you treasure? That's something Jesse wants you to think about this week. Where's your heart, and what do you truly treasure in your life? For King David, he treasured God. He treasured Yahweh. For Jesus, he treasured his Father, and he treasured you. So what about you? What do you treasure so much that you're scared to give it up? Why are we even talking about this? Why are we doing this? Why are we raising money for this? Why are we raising money just to give it away? It's very, very simple. To maximize our collective impact, we have to maximize our personal generosity. Because when we do that, and we do it with a heart overflowing for Jesus and his kingdom, and caring about people, and caring about getting people to follow Jesus, and helping dying churches come to life, caring about our next generation, and helping organizations and ministries in our community, we find ourselves looking a lot like David and Israel. Verse 20 said, "Then David said to the whole assembly, 'Give praise to the Lord your God.' And the entire assembly praised the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and they bowed low and knelt before the Lord our King." This is our goal. Give praise and honor to King Jesus as we work to become consistently generous because we understand that we are stewards of our stuff and our money and we're not owners of it. So I want you to simply sit down this week with your family, with your spouse, or just by yourself and pray about it, and pray about this week as we move forward to the next 4 weeks of Be Generous. And I want you to think, am I or are we stewards or are we owners of our stuff? Are we first and best or last and leftover kinds of people? So I wanted to just take a moment and tell you about the impact and the things that, just from personal experience, the impact that Be Generous has gotten to do for my wife and I, because we lead an A group with, I don't know what it's in there, 5 families now, whole lot of kids. All the kids are under 5. It's a lot. It's great. It's great, but it's a lot. So the last 2 years, my wife and I have been leading our A group. We've gotten to the first year. One of the things that we do at Be Generous is um, each A group gets a set amount of money. So depending on how much money's raised, we give every A group a check. And I think the first year it was $1,000 or $1,200, something like that. And basically it's go bless people with it. Don't care what you do with it, just go bless people with it. That's the only thing. Bring back receipts showing what you did with it. So the first year we had an opportunity to buy. So there's a ministry, or I don't know if it's really a ministry, but there's a place in Mansfield. It used to be called Harmony House, and now it's got a new name now. I don't recall. Wayfinders, thank you. So Wayfinders. So basically, it's a place where families or people that are working to get back on their feet, they go there and then they can move on and get an apartment or something like that, right? So we had an opportunity with our money to, there's a girl at our church that works there, and she said, hey, there's families coming in with kids, like families of 4 and 5, that are getting their own apartment or getting their own place, and they need basically everything. They don't have anything going into this apartment. So our A group sat down and we figured out how many families we could bless with the money we had. And we were going to buy plates, forks, spoons, knives, cups. I think we bought brooms and dustpans, trash cans, basically everything just to get started, right? The basic stuff. And I don't remember how many families we were able to do it for, but it was like several families of 5 that we bought all the plates, forks, everything for, and we were able to give those to Wayfinders. So families had something to start with. And none of those families maybe even know where that stuff came from, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. But we just gave it all away. We did that with it. And then I think we had like $200 left over. And our A group went to Roosters that night and had dinner together after we went shopping. And the waitress was a younger woman, and she was helping us. And we got done, and we gave her we all tipped her, and then we gave her $200 extra dollars as a tip on top of her tip. And mind you, Be Generous usually Be Generous Sunday happens in October. So we didn't get our check until like the end of November. So this was probably the end of November, beginning of December. So she had kids and she was buying Christmas stuff for her kids. And we gave her that $200, man. She just broke down tears. And she was just so thankful for that money because she had to buy Christmas gifts for her kids. And then this last year, we were debating, all right, what are we going to do with our money? I think we got $1,000 or $1,200 again. We were talking, what are we going to do with this money this year? Our A group got together, we're discussing, wait, maybe we do this, maybe we do that. And I think I don't remember what it was, but we had come up with an idea of what we were going to do with the money. And right before, like a day or two before we went to go shopping or whatever we were doing with it, one of the girls in our A group texted our group chat, and she said, hey, I have a question. She worked for a school as a teacher, and she said, normally we get these, I think they call them giving trees, like the Salvation Army does the trees at Walmart, and you take the cards off and you buy the stuff for the kid. Well, they had one of those trees and had like 20 or 30 cards on it, and they forgot to put the tree out. So they had all those cards that nobody had bought or picked or anything yet. And she was like, can we use our money to buy for all these kids? So that's what we did. Her principal or whoever took all the cards, laid them out on a table at the school, and she's like, hey, if anybody in the school can take one, let's try to get all these bought for. And Emily was able to go in there and grab them all. She said, I'm just taking them all. We're going to buy for all of them. So we went to Walmart one night, and everything on each of the kids' list, we bought it. So every kid that had a tag on there got exactly what they had asked for on that card. And then we had even after all that, we had a little bit of money left over. So we went out to dinner again. I think we went to Roosters again. It was the exact same thing. It was a young woman, had a kid, no boyfriend, no husband, just trying to make ends meet. We were able to give her a couple $100 for her. And she actually knew of Avenue because she played, what's it called? The basketball, upward basketball at Avenue years ago. She was like, I know exactly what church you're talking about. I used to play basketball there when I was a kid. So we told her, and I don't know if she ever came. I hope she did, but either way, we were able to bless her with that money. And then we went back to Walmart and bought 10 or 12 like $50 gift cards. And our A group all split up, couple, husbands and wives, and we just walked around and, hey, Merry Christmas, God bless you. Just handing gift cards out to people. And probably one of the coolest things I saw was my wife, because she's super introverted anyway. She doesn't like talking to people that much, but she was all for this. So she walked up to this woman and she gave her a gift card. And the woman, if I remember right, she said, hold on, give it to my son. So her son comes over, and I believe he was deaf, right? He was completely deaf. And she handed him the gift card, and he got so excited. Started jumping and cheering, gave my wife a big hug because now he could buy something for Christmas. And that's what Be Generous is. A lot of people get blessed because of this thing. So that's my spiel on why Be Generous is awesome. And I'm glad that we get to do it with another church this year. I'm glad you guys are going to be a part of it. I don't think Nate gave the number, but if I remember right, last year at just Ontario, we were like at somewhere between $170,000 and $180,000 that Ontario gave. And one of the things that we do is, going back to David talking about David giving first, right? And then asking his people to do it. One of the things we do at Avenue is we ask our elders and our staff members to pledge a certain amount. So when Be Generous Sunday comes up, we can tell you all, hey, our elders have pledged to give this much, no matter what. And our staff has pledged to give this much, no matter what. So if we could try to match that, if we could try to beat it by 2 times or 3 times, but as the leadership of the church, we want you to know that everybody's on board with this. Nate and Liz give just like everybody else does. Okay, Bill and Shelby are going to give just like everybody else does. And we give those pledges already, so you guys know that the leadership's serious about it. Okay, we're not coming to you asking for money and we're going to do something with it. We've all pledged to give a set amount of money, whatever we're able to give for this, so we can tell you guys, hey, the elders have already pledged this amount. Okay, so that's what we're doing, and we want to encourage you guys to do what you can do too. It's a beautiful thing. It's hands down my favorite time of the year at church. Getting to watch people. The A groups come up with so many cool ideas of how they can give their money away to people. Some people will just go to gas stations and get however many 10 or I don't know 50 however the math goes, $50-$20 gift cards if we get $1,000, something like that. And they'll just stand at gas pumps and here's $20. Here's $20. Hey, you interested in coming to church? We'd like to invite you to Avenue. Here's $20. Go get some gas. Some people do that. Some people go out and buy coats and hats and stuff like that, and they'll go set up a table down at the square in Mansfield and just hand coats and hats out to people. It's an awesome, awesome thing. I'm really looking forward to you guys getting to be able to be a part of it with us this year. So I'm going to pray real quick. I got some reflection questions, and then I'll have Christina come up, and she has a little something she wants to say real quick too. So, Father, thank you for this beautiful sunny day, Lord. Thank you for this weather. Thank you for Avenue Church. Thank you for Ashland. Thank you for the people in this building, Lord, that are generous and striving to be all they can be for you, Lord. Thank you for the giving, for the opportunity to give and give back what is already yours. Lord, I pray that through the next 4 or 5 weeks that Be Generous can transform hearts, can open hearts up, and that we can bless Ashland like no other church has been able to bless Ashland before, Lord. I hope that Avenue can be the standout church for giving away money, for blessing people. And I hope that Avenue in Ontario is already the church that is known for Be Generous, Lord. I pray that Ashland Avenue becomes the church known for how generous we are. Not just trying to make money and get people in the doors, Lord, but push money out and bless people. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today, Lord. I pray that some hearts were changed, and all glory goes to you. In Jesus' name, amen. So I have a couple reflection questions. Are you a steward or an owner? As I already said, I want everybody this week to reflect on that and think about that this week. What are we with our money and our possessions? Are we giving our first and best or last and leftovers? And finally, share this with somebody this week. I know, we talk about money, and I hear stories all the time. I don't want to invite people during the time we're talking about money. Invite somebody, because a lot of people see this and they see it as, I literally know people that their first Sunday was Be Generous Sunday. They're in our small group, and they've been coming to Avenue for several years now just because of that. Because they got to see what kind of church Avenue is and what Avenue does with their money. Their first impression wasn't, oh, this church just wants my money. It was, wow, this church wants my money because they want to give it away and do something helpful with it, be impactful with it. And you never know what those people will think when they come here, because it's not always just, oh, of course, another money message, but it's not just a money message, it's a heart message. What are we doing with our money? So thank you all for being here today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to all of you. Christina has a little thing that she wants to share real quick. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. If we haven't met, I'm Christina Smith. I'm the admin here for Ashland in our campus here. In your handouts, and if you didn't get a handout, we have extras out in the Welcome Center. It's just a little survey. We are looking at potentially going to 2 services, which is super exciting. And it may not seem like it's always super crowded, but the parking lot is full, which is amazing. But so if you could just fill out this information. To do that, we need some manpower, and we need to know kind of where everybody's at. And we encourage people to attend a service and serve a service. And so hopefully that will just help us grow and be able to serve everyone. So if you could fill that out, that's in your handout, or extras on the New Here Center, and then just leave that on the New Here table, and we'll collect those. And hopefully, God willing, and that's the way we're going to go, or we're supposed to go, that we'll be at 2 services soon and reaching even more people. So have a great week, and we love you all.